You ever have one of those nights where you're just lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, phone still glowing in your hand, and suddenly this horrible thought hits you? What am I actually doing with my life? Deep inside your chest. Because somewhere between the scrolling, the distractions, the "I'll start tomorrow," you started feeling disconnected from yourself. And maybe nobody around you notices it. Maybe you still laugh normally. Maybe you still go to work, still reply to messages, still post stories. But inside, you feel stuck, like life is moving, but you aren't. And honestly, that feeling is becoming more common than anybody wants to admit. Because we live in a world where people are entertained every second, but emotionally exhausted all the time. Think about your average day. The moment you wake up, before your eyes can even fully open, your hand reaches for your phone automatically. Not consciously, automatically. You check notifications, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, messages, news, more scrolling, more noise, more stimulation, and your brain barely gets a single moment to breathe. Then suddenly it's afternoon, and somehow you already feel mentally drained, even though you haven't done anything meaningful yet. And the craziest part? This has become normal. People are no longer living life. They're escaping it every single day. And what's terrifying is, most people don't even realize they're addicted. Not addicted to drugs, not addicted to alcohol, addicted to dopamine. That constant need to feel stimulated, to feel entertained, to feel distracted from reality. Because dopamine isn't actually the chemical of happiness. That's the lie people keep repeating online. Dopamine is the chemical of craving. It's the chemical that makes your brain say, again, one more video, one more scroll, one more refresh. And social media companies understand this better than anyone. Every app on your phone was carefully engineered by people whose entire job is to keep you hooked. The colors, the sounds, the endless scrolling, the autoplay, the notifications. Everything is designed to trap your attention for as long as possible, because your attention is worth billions. And the longer they keep you distracted, the less likely you are to build something meaningful for yourself. And slowly, without realizing it, your brain changes. You lose patience. You lose focus. You lose the ability to enjoy simple things. Sitting quietly feels uncomfortable now. Reading feels difficult. Working on your goals feels exhausting. Even watching a long video without checking your phone feels impossible sometimes. Why? Because your brain has been trained to expect stimulation every few seconds. Fast videos, fast entertainment, fast pleasure, fast dopamine. And real life? Real life is slow. That's the problem. Real growth is painfully slow. Building confidence is slow. Healing is slow. Learning skills is slow. Building your dream life is slow. But your brain now expects instant rewards for everything. So the second life becomes difficult, or boring, or repetitive. You escape. You grab your phone. You distract yourself. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, again and again and again. And this is exactly how people waste years of their lives without realizing it. Not because they're stupid, not because they're weak, but because they became addicted to escaping discomfort. That's the real trap. Because every meaningful thing in life requires discomfort. Every single one. Discipline is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Exercise is uncomfortable. Facing your fears is uncomfortable. But in alone with your thoughts is uncomfortable. But instead of facing discomfortable, modern life gives us endless ways to avoid it. And at first, it feels harmless. Scrolling for an hour doesn't seem dangerous. Skipping one workout doesn't seem dangerous. Watching videos all night doesn't seem dangerous. But slowly, those tiny decisions become your identity. Maybe the saddest part of all this is how quietly it destroys your self-respect. Because deep down, you know when you're avoiding your potential. You know when you're wasting time. You know when you're becoming less than who you could be. That's why people feel guilty at night. That guilt isn't random. It's your mind realizing that your actions and your potential are no longer matching each other. You promised yourself you'd become more disciplined, more successful, more focused, more alive. But instead, you became distracted, constantly stimulated, constantly escaping. And after enough broken promises to yourself, something dangerous starts happening. You stop believing in yourself, not all at once, slowly, quietly, painfully. You stop trusting your own word. You say you'll wake up early, but you don't. You say you'll focus, but you scroll instead. You say you'll change, but the cycle repeats again. And eventually, you start seeing yourself as someone who just can't do it. But listen carefully to me. You are not broken. Your brain has simply adapted to the environment around you. And that means something important. You can take your mind back, but it won't happen through motivation. Motivation fades. You need awareness. You need to understand that every time you endlessly consume distraction, you are training your brain to avoid effort. And every time you choose focus over distraction, you are rebuilding yourself. Slowly, day by day, moment by moment. You need to learn how to be bored again. Seriously. Because boredom is where your real mind wakes up. That silence you keep avoiding, that's where clarity lives. That's where ideas live. That's where growth begins. But most people never reach that point because the second silence appears, they run back to stimulation. And honestly, this generation is losing its ability to sit alone with itself. That should terrify you. Because if a person cannot sit quietly with their own thoughts, they become easy to control, easy to distract, easy to manipulate. And that's exactly what the modern world wants. Distracted people don't build great lives. Distracted people consume. Focused people create. Focused people lead. Focused people change their reality. And maybe that's why focus has become a superpower now. Not talent, not intelligence. Focus. The ability to sit down, ignore the noise, and work towards something meaningful even when it's difficult. That's rare now, because most people are drowning in dopamine while wondering why they feel empty inside. But you still have time. That's the beautiful part. You still have time to take your mind back, to rebuild your attention span, to rebuild your discipline, to rebuild your life, one decision at a time, one focused hour at a time, one less distraction at a time. And one day, you'll look back and realize something incredible. The moment your life started changing was the moment you stopped feeding every distraction and finally started protecting your attention like your future depended on it. Because the truth is, it does.